I'm Jamie for RugbyPass.com, and I'm here with a very special guest, a man who used to play for Otago, then on for the Highlanders, and then ended up playing for Scotland, John Leslie. Hello, welcome.
Thanks, Jamie. Welcome to Dunedin.
Oh, mate, it's a beautiful, stunning day here, and we were going to do this interview back in the camper, but we thought, nah, man, we're going to get out here and have a look at the surf. So, John, first things first, you have some experience of playing against the Lions yourself back in 1993. What are your memories of that game?
My first memory was being in the tunnel, and we came out at the same time as Jeremy Guscott and Will Carling, and we kind of paired off as we went through the tunnel together to run on the field. And I got this massive surge of adrenaline, and then after that it was a free-flowing, really fun game to play in, and then a party afterwards for the victory. So that's my memories of the whole day.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a pretty sweet time for the Otago team back then. You guys had a win over the Springboks the next year, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we got 2 in 2 years. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and you managed to get a try in both of those games. Do you remember those at all?
Remember both of them. Good fun tries. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. And you know, I mean, it was quite a while ago, and rugby was a pretty different game back then. And then your career went on to bridge the gap between amateur and professional era. You played in the pros yourself. I mean, like, what was it like playing in a team back then with guys who you were basically just going to uni with and getting on the piss with afterwards?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was heaps of fun. Tons of fun, and we were getting that high adrenaline, big stage rugby as well. And it was stacked with A-class players just because it was amateur. Of course, we know it was high performance, especially rugby in New Zealand. The NPC was stacked with All Blacks, you know. It's just how it was, and we played Super Rugby at the end of each year, which the top 4 qualifying teams from New Zealand would represent New Zealand in. So that was, and we made that as well. So we got some international flavour. So it was just heaps of fun.
And speaking of internationals, obviously you went on and played for Scotland after all that. Were you close to getting on that Lions tour in 2001?
Oh well, I was hoping I was, but obviously not close enough. Yeah.
It's probably worth mentioning that John was in the Scottish team the last time they actually ever won anything. What are your memories of winning the Five Nations back in '99?
And that was we went into the championship as 100-1 outsiders, and because it's such a short tournament, you can get a couple of results and you're on, and you get your momentum, and it's done. And you still got to win the matches and perform get to the top of the ladder, and we did that. And we played at that stage, '99. We scored a record of 16 tries, which doesn't sound like that fabulous today, but at that stage that was the most ever scored in a Five Nations tournament. And we played some great footy, and it was just heaps of fun, and that was cool too as well, because that was back in the bridge between the amateur and the professional days. So after the matches, you'd have these crazy, fantastic, fun after-match dinners where the guys would get split off with the girls, and now you might say, oh, that's a bit sexist or whatever, but man, the girls loved it and we loved it. And then they'd have a double dinner at the end of the night where you all come together and have plenty of fun. But of course, with professionalism, the players aren't doing that after the game anymore, and that money's spent elsewhere. So, yeah.
Well, it's a bloody shame, isn't it? Well, anyway, enough about the old days. Let's talk about tomorrow night. The Lions are taking on the Highlanders. Obviously, the Lions had a really good win on Saturday night against the Crusaders. How do you see this one going?
I see it being a different game in the respect that it was a dewy ball on Saturday night in Christchurch, and it was cold, and we're under the roof here. It's going to be open and fast flowing. I think there'll be a lot of tries scored. I don't know about the rest of the matches on tour. I think it might be very, very tight matches and controlled by forward play. But this on Tuesday night, it's going to be a ripper. Both teams, no excuses. Both of them will want the victory, and it'll be a goer. So yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Well, let's hope you're right, mate. I hope we can see at least one more try than we saw on Saturday night. John Leslie, again, thanks for having us at your beautiful hometown. Well, actually, it's not. You're from Wellington, aren't you?
Oh well, yeah. I'm from Wellington, second city, but Dunedin's my home. So yeah.
Well, once again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, mate.
Thanks, Jamie.
Cheers, John.